my cute little beautiful unicorn. This is going to be a crusty video. I'm sick right now, but I really felt like I needed to make a video about this and talk about it, and because it's very upsetting to me. So this this rapper that I just found out about like last week or 2 weeks ago or so, he was murdered in like a robbery type thing. I don't like reading dark things and sad things, so I don't know like the full out details of it, but he was shot to death in his car, and that just, it makes me really upset. And yeah, you don't like it? It breaks my heart because he was a really good musician, and I just found out about him. My friend's like, oh, have you heard of this guy? And I was like, okay, let me go on Spotify, because he's always getting me updated on music. So I go on Spotify, I look up this dude, and I sat there and listened to about like 5 songs, and then I was like about to listen to the whole album, and I was just like in love with, I don't know, it was really interesting and fun. I really like finding out about new music, so I was happy when he sent this rapper to me. I'm like, this is cool, like this is a little bit different from like, you know, super, I could tell he had like a creative mindset, and he was doing what he wanted to do with his music, and it was beautiful and amazing. So yesterday I found out that the day before he was killed, and I was on my Instagram trying to promote my videos, and then I was seeing like Whoa Vicky and Dynasty was posted a video. She was crying and she was like, oh, so and so died, and I was like, who died? And I was on the comments trying to figure out like who died, because they're like, oh, this rapper died, and I'm like, who? Somebody tell me, please. You know, so I'm scrolling through the comments, and people are like, oh, X died, and X, all I kept seeing was X, and I'm like, who the poop is X? What is this? Like, what's happening? And so I went on Google and typed in X rapper death, and then it came up, and I was like, that sounds so familiar. That's so sad that he's dead. And I prayed, I said a little prayer, and I went back to sleep. And then today, I think it was today, I woke up really late last night, I realized who it was, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's that creative guy that I just got into. And then I checked my Spotify to make sure, like to check, and I was like, that's him. Because he has this song called I Don't Even Speak Spanish, LOL, and I just really liked it, and I was like, that's the guy with the song. So I texted my friend that sent him to me, and I was like, he's dead, like somebody killed him. And he was like, what the heck, I'm so sad. So me being the nice, wonderful person that I try so hard to be on a daily basis, I went and posted like a little tribute post to him on Instagram, you know, just saying that like I only found out about him recently, and it was heartbreaking the way that he died, and I think that it's terrible and disgusting that humans kill each other, how dark the world is and stuff, because that's just stupid. Like I know that's like not a very educated thing to say, like it's stupid, like stop killing people, stop it. It's not helping anyone. I know people think it does, but no. So I posted the thing, and it got a lot of likes, and one of my friends from college, she's actually someone I look up to a lot and I respect a lot, so when she commented, I wasn't, you know, ready to like spit fire or anything and be like, bitch, shut the fuck up, because she's actually really smart and I trust her things that she says. But she's basically saying how he was an abuser, and basically was just talking about how he wasn't a very good person, and she said that she was glad that he was dead. And I really hate when people say they're glad someone is dead. Like, I just think it's really disrespectful when someone's not on earth anymore to be like, woo, fucking so excited. Just be like, woo, they're dead. That's not okay. And it's heartbreaking to me that we can't have more empathy for things. Now, here's the other part. So one of my other friends, Devin, was talking to Danny. They don't know each other, by the way. So Devin commented back, basically defending X, and so Danny replied back to him, you know, stating her facts about how she was like, he's an abuser and he's not a good person. And he was like, well, so-and-so, I think I'm gonna read you the messages. I mean, you can follow me on Instagram if you want to see, but I'm gonna go log onto my computer so that I can read you the comments of what was going on. I'm so sorry that you have to hear me talk like this with my throat, and this is like a rant, and you're supposed to be talking. It's not a rant, it's just like I feel like I needed to address this because it's making me really sad, and I don't want someone who's dead to have a disrespectful send-off, especially coming from my page, because I don't want to spread any sort of negativity on my Instagram or on my YouTube channel or Snapchat or anything. So the first comment that was made was my friend saying he's an abuser and he actually attempted to kill multiple people. He was misogynistic and homophobic and he won't be missed by me, LMAO. So, you know, that bothered me that someone said LMAO, that somebody's dead. Like, he won't be missed by me, haha. Like, I feel like we all have to remember that even though he might have done bad things, there were people who loved him. He had family, friends, that's somebody's son, somebody's brother, cousin. I mean, this applies to anybody. Like, somebody is someone's relative and someone's loved one. And it's extremely disrespectful, like, not even to that person, but to their family. And, like, if I died, like, I know I haven't done any bad things in my life. If anything, I have done literally nothing for the world at all, except for sit here and talk to myself on the camera. But if someone was like, oh, Maddie wouldn't be missed by me, LMAO, like, my family would be pretty upset if they saw that. Granted, my father would probably be like, well, F them, because he's just that type of person, but, like, I'm not, and I wouldn't want to see that about someone I knew. Like, I have friends that have made bad choices, and I have a friend whose husband, boyfriend, guy that I don't like. Like, I really don't like him. Like, I almost hate him. I don't say I hate people, but I almost just, like, really don't like him, and he bothers me. I don't like the things he does. I don't like the way he treats her and certain people. I don't know. He just has a bad attitude. But if he were to die, he has a family. He's somebody's son, brother, husband, father. So his whole family would be hurt. My feelings about him are irrelevant to them. They would be like, oh, we love him, we miss him, especially my friend. So I can't be like, well, he's dead, sucks to suck, haha, I hated him anyway. Like, he treats people terribly. Like, when somebody dies, it's not the time to do that. And, like, after then, you know, maybe I would feel, you know, I wouldn't feel the sadness and the grieving and the loss of him, but I would feel bad for his family and, you know, people that were his friends and people that, you know, loved him and cared for him, because you have to be respectful for them too. So back to my friend, I messaged her back and I was basically just like, thank you for, you know, the facts. His music was really good. I didn't like the way that he was killed. I don't think murder is ever okay. Even like the death penalty, that's disgusting. Like, get out. And, you know, someone so talented like him, I just hate when they're just gone and like their mark can't be made in music industry or somewhere anymore. So then my other friend said, what makes us sad is that we knew his past actions were wrong, that he was making an effort to be a better person, and he was actually planning a community event in his hometown when he was murdered. And my friend said, yes, he planned it and several other community events, never followed through, and instead pressured the women he abused into dropping charges. And if you watch recent interviews where he's asked about the history of violence, he isn't the least bit remorseful. If anything, it's disgusting how far people are willing to categorize abuse as just mistakes when they are extreme acts of violence. She was saying people defending him are enabling people who are just as abusive to continue being toxic, because what does matter, what does it matter when people will call you good even when you weren't after you pass? Okay, so my friend says, the other friend replies, you can't pass judgment because we weren't there. Only the victim knows the truth. I'm not calling her a liar, but I was going to wait until after his trial before I passed judgment. X had his issues, but he shouldn't be remembered. But he should be remembered for his music and the positive influence he left behind. All that other stuff is irrelevant. I hope that his soul and whoever he hurt in the past can find peace. That's what's important. And I was basically saying, you know, good job, Devin. And then Danny replied, I'm not passing judgment, I'm literally stating the facts. He himself admitted to doing these things proudly. I do hope his survivors can find peace now that their abuser is dead, and his actions against him, especially his ex, weren't one-time instances. He continually harassed her until his death and even encouraged his fans to do so as well. His contributions are not positive. You can't separate the art from the artist when they directly benefit from people embracing the violence they encourage. I don't believe he deserves peace because I didn't even fully read this, but it's making me really angry, like, saying that he doesn't deserve peace because you, as a person, as a human on earth, because we are all imperfect and we're all disgusting. Some of us have sins deeper than others and darker than others, and I know Danny's like one of the sweetest, nicest people that I've met. She doesn't have a bad bone in her body, but you still as a person are imperfect and gross, because we all are, and God shakes his head at us every day like, what the heck are they doing, you know? And for you to say he doesn't deserve peace, it's not for you to say, it's for God to say, because honestly, we don't know what's going on in X's head. We don't know what's going on with his ex. And like my friend Devin said, we don't want to call his ex a liar for coming out with abuse allegations, because that's rude also. But we don't know the situations, we don't know what's going on. I don't know, maybe people do know what's going on. I don't read the court cases because I didn't know about it, and I was just trying to show respect for somebody's passing. But we can't say that they don't deserve peace. But anyway, I'll continue. She says, I don't believe he deserves peace because he actively made sure his survivors were denied it. Being violently homophobic and So I just realized my phone died in the middle of me filming while I was talking, and I kept talking and didn't even realize it was filming. My throat's hurting really bad, so I apologize. But my friend was saying that X didn't deserve peace, and it's not our place as humans to say that and make that assumption and make that claim, because the only one who knows what's going to happen to us after we die is God, and we don't know what X had in his head, if he was going to change or not, and if he was going to be different, or if he was going to, you know, as humans, we need to be more together. I was saying earlier that when someone makes a mistake, and when someone's being or acting in a way that we collectively view as wrong, if anything, we shouldn't alienate them and make them feel, I mean, we shouldn't alienate them and make them like a pariah and just be like, F you and blah blah blah, and barrage them with insults, because then that doesn't make you any better than them. And anyway, you should care for them and show them the respect that you want them to show you back. When you do that, some people learn from that and say, oh wow, you know, that person made such a positive impact on my life, on my day-to-day. They, you know, came to me with open arms when everyone else was insulting me, and, you know, they were with me and they tried, you know. So that person just gains a whole new perspective, because maybe they don't have a lot of people like that in their lives and they need that. Or, I don't know, people can learn from their mistakes better when people help teach them instead of insulting them. My friend also said on her story on Instagram that if she said something like, if y'all don't just spit on his cold body and keep moving, like, that's extremely hurtful and rude, because he's somebody's, I just can't fathom why and how somebody could say that. It's very troubling to me, and like, it explains to me why we as humans have so much issues on our daily basis, and why so many people are fighting, because it's holding someone back isn't going to make it better. And just because you didn't like someone and something they did, spitting on them doesn't make it better. I too have a lot of friends that have been through really tragic things, rape and abuse and all sorts of things. And a lot of those people aren't angry with their abuser or their attacker or whatever. They are more in a place of type of forgiveness, that they were able to move on. Even if that person is still alive, to be able to just say, you know, someone did something terrible to me, but I'm going to go out into the world and do better and be a better person and, you know, do better things. And you can't be worried about someone else's terrible actions. Now, I do say that rape, abuse, all that is terrible, and what X did was absolutely terrible. But I'm not God. I can't say like, oh, well, he's going to hell now. There are people that have done way worse than him, and maybe he just needed to be taught. There are people who are homophobic. I feel like that's going to be the way that it is forever. Not everyone's going to agree with what gay people, what people in the LGBTQ plus community do. I don't agree with everything they do, but I always say at the end of the day, it's none of my business. And just because I don't agree with something or think the same way as someone about something, that doesn't mean that other people's feelings on that are wrong. It's just my opinion, and I can easily go be friends with lots of gay people and lots of other people in the LGBTQ plus community. And it's totally fine. Like, if they want to do that, that's good for them. Have fun, whatever. It's none of my business what other people do with their time like that, with that kind of, with their sexuality and stuff. I do think that you shouldn't be rude to people about it just because you don't agree. Like, I don't go to my gay friends and be like, well, you guys are gonna go to hell, and you guys shouldn't be, you know. This all stems from me being Christian and being Catholic. That's why I don't agree with it, because, you know, that makes sense to me. To them, it's a whole different thing. I don't know what they go through on a daily basis. Life's hard for them, and it's terrible, and I don't like that people are rude to them, that they live that life. But I want a tangent. What I was saying is that people are homophobic. We can't really do much about it. We can educate them and hope that they learn and change, and that's basically all we can do, and hope that they do learn and change and be better people. And maybe X was doing that. Hopefully he was. It seems like he was, and like, I had just gotten into him and started learning about him, and I was only seeing the positive, and he seemed to be in a good place when coming up where he is right now. Well, not where he is right now, where he was. And I saw so many people the past day and a half that were friends with him, that are saying such amazing positive things about him, that contradict the bad things that people who didn't even know him at all are saying. There were people that had him be there for him, that had him be like really nice to them and chill with them and open and embracing them as a good person. And maybe he, you know, they had their bad times with him as well, but, you know, at the end of the day, they saw him as friend and brother and family, and they loved him. I mean, he's 20 years old. We all can say things at this age, I know, being in college and stuff, around people that age, and I'm 21. We all say and do stupid things at this age, especially. We think we know stuff, and we don't. We do things that are accidents. We do things we should not do. We make these mistakes. And I understand where my friend is coming from and saying, like, you can't just call abuse mistakes, but sometimes it is, and you have to grow up and learn from it, you know? Nobody should abuse anyone. Maybe nobody taught him well enough not to do those things, but it's not for us to judge when we weren't there. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what's going through his head. He seemed like he might have had a temper kind of thing, but most boys do. And I've gotten in shares of fights with my brother where we like physically do things, and I've physically, like, you know, it just happens. I'm not saying it's right. It's wrong. It's terrible. It's absolutely disgusting and terrible. But you have to let someone get punishment they deserve through the messed up legal system we have. He was going forward with that, and thank God his ex did take the, you know, necessary measures to, you know, make sure that he could rectify his actions. You know, that's what he needed to do. It's not for us to decide what we think we should do with him, because none of us are God, none of us are lawmakers or judges and all that shit. Like, we need to just calm down. In no way am I saying that rape and abuse is okay. I'm just saying, like, we don't know everything. And until judges make their rulings, and until we hear full out from other people, and we're not gonna know. But all I want, this is going on a tangent type of video. People spat on Jesus. People said crucify him. People were terrible to him, and they killed him. And he never sat on that cross and was like, well, F all of y'all, you're going to hell. He literally stood up there, prayed to God, forgive them, they don't know what they do, and died for us, went to hell and back for us. And now we are able to make the mistakes that we make on a daily basis in our stupid human existence because we're terrible. We can do that, and then we can gain our forgiveness back so that we can go. So we don't know what X was doing. He might have made peace with God. You don't know how things are going in his court thing and trial and whatever. And I do think it's terrible if his fans are harassing the ex because the girl, his ex-girlfriend or whatever she was. Stop, because that doesn't make you a better person than anyone else on the planet. Like, if she really was abused by him and she's going through a lot, and you need to lay off and let her deal with what she needs to deal with. I just want to say, when people die, please take, you know, respect and remember that that's somebody's loved one. And X wasn't just like out to get people and trying to do crazy things. A lot of people his age have done worse. There are a lot of kids in gangs and doing all sorts of crazy stuff, running around raping and killing and basically, you know, and there are lots of people in history that have done those things, and we don't necessarily just spit on them and leave. We don't know, you know. Let him peacefully just go out, you know. The way that he died was completely unacceptable and uncalled for. Now we'll never know the future of what he might have been. And if he was apologizing and doing whatever, we'll never know now. And we'll never get any more music from him. And he was absolutely brilliant and creative with that. And someone like that, you know, who's creative, has a functioning brain that's actually amazingly put together and wired. So, and at this young age, he would have grown up, would have felt the impact of people saying, hey, don't be misogynistic and homophobic and whatever, and learned and grown from it. Lots of people do. Lots of rappers do. We don't, you know, there's just that environment of where he, you know, was in that type of music and that type of industry, and we have to remember that. I just want to say, X, I love you, and I hope you are finding peace in your afterlife, or I hope that you're finding what God wants for you in your afterlife. And I pray to God, to his friends and family, and as a fan, I will miss him, his music. I pray that any of his victims are finding peace as well, and that they deal with it and are able to forgive and not forget, forgive and remember and move on and learn I'm sorry for the way that he died. I think we all need to put more positive energy and love out there. I'm really sick, so I'm just going to end this video now. And I'm really irritated that I just filmed this and my phone died, and now I'm not reaching the great points that I was before. But in a nutshell, just when people die, let's just be a little more respectful. Let's be a little more sensitive, and remember that he was a human being, and you wouldn't like those things said to you. And we have to act how we want others to be. We have to set the example, not spread hate. Even if we are spreading, even if we are trying to make a point that somebody did something we don't like, we don't go to them and insult them or hurt them. We show them how to be and be the examples and lead the world in the direction that is good. Lots of people just need some hugs and some really good, I don't know, I have to go. I love you guys. Tell everyone else you love them. Bye.